I took the game of Pong from this to this. In this recreation of Pong, I'm adding power-ups, making better graphics, and of course, adding completely unnecessary blue. I started off with the basic structures, the walls, floor, and end zones. Now let's add our character, the platform. We are going to add a script which enables us to move along the positive and negative x-axis and limits us from moving past 5.5 units to the left and right. That looks pretty good. Next, I need to add the ball, and let's create another script to simulate bouncing. In this script, we need to add some bouncing physics. This can be achieved with some trigonometry, which I won't bore you with. In short, if you hit the edge of the platform, you will bounce off at the most extreme angle, and if you hit the middle, you bounce off directly vertically. When the balls hit the walls, we simply reverse the x direction and keep the y direction the same. That looks pretty good. Alright, that's the hardest part done. My math teacher better be proud. Our game looks a little dull, so let's add some post-processing. If you don't know what post-processing is, some features which we will use include bloom, vignettes, tone mapping, and depth of field. I created some materials with emission maps which, with bloom enabled, creates this cool glow. I am using the ACES tone mapping, which really brings out the emissive colors. Vignette is a term I learned in photography where the edges of the photo darken out. Some people don't like using vignettes, but personally I feel like it allows your eyes to focus more on the center of the screen, sort of like tunnel vision. Let me know which you prefer. I also added some color adjustments and color curve to bring out the blue and to desaturate the red. Now we need to make the enemy platform move. In the original Pong game, you play against a computer which moves with varying speeds, but the objective of this new Pong game is to break the opponent's wall by hitting it enough times. Because of this, we will simply spawn a wall in the correct position. There are two ways we can do this. I can make it so the ball sends a raycast of its current trajectory each time it bounces off a wall, and if it hits the enemy zone, it will spawn a wall there. The second way we can do this is to simply spawn a wall at the exact moment the ball crosses slightly in front of the enemy zone. For the sake of simplicity, we will do this latter option. Looks pretty good, but it's a little boring, so let's add an explosion. To make this explosion, we take this one cube and we turn it into multiple cubes, and we spawn this explosion behind it, or inside of it, and it explodes, and the blocks are supposed to fly outwards, but it's Minecraft. I don't know what I'm doing. I also made it so the platform turns red when you hit it, and the explosion turned out pretty well. In itself, the game isn't too bad at this point, but let's add some power-ups to spice things up. Cue the modeling montage. Let's add our power-ups. I added a script to make the power-ups rotate, and then this red power-up will make the platform shrink. The blue bolt one will make the ball speed up. And this green one will make the platform expand. And all these power-ups will turn off after 5 seconds. So I want to add a background picture because right now our game is sort of like a dull gray or black. So I went to Adobe Stock, got a free space image, and went to Photoshop to sort of make the background blurry. And that looks pretty good. Let's add our background, and let's add some bloom. That looks pretty good. I want to create a sort of grid for spawning the power-ups, so I'm going to get rid of the floor. I made this little basic tile in Blender, and I'm going to spawn them in. Normally they'd spawn all in at once, but I added a little delay for visuals. So we're going to add a script which simulates our grid with 6 rows and 5 columns. From this, we're only going to be using rows 1 through 4 and then all the columns. So we get a random row and column from the spawnable area. If that grid space is empty, we spawn a power-up. If not, we repeat the process. I made it so the game spawns in 4 power-ups and then adds additional power-ups every 5 seconds. I also added this little sound to add some depth to the game. And this is the end of this first version of my recreation of Pong. There's a lot more that can be added, like objectives, levels, animations. Let me know if you want me to add anything. And I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone who's been supporting this channel. There were a lot of positive comments. We reached 100 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. And we're about to hit 200. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and bye.